Well, hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm up at Mum's, or Googie's, as some of you now know her. And we're going to have a little walk around the garden. And for those who don't know my mother, she has been gardening for about 80 years. She's 83. And she has made an extraordinary garden. It's very unlike mine. It is behind me. It's full of nooks and crannies and little snickets and rare plants and unusual things, and it is her joy and pride. So, as I often do when I'm up here, we're going to go for a little walk around the garden and have a look. And the subject today is what five tools would she not be without as a gardener? And with 80 years experience, her 5 choices are very good. Anyway, come along, let's see. And if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe, press the bell icon, and we'll tell you when we've got more clips coming up. If any of the tips and tricks you get as you come along are useful, you can always buy me a coffee, or better still, join my club. The links to coffee buying and club joining are in the blurb to all my clips. Thanks very much, and on we go.
I'm now going to explain about the careful walking because Georgie says I'm to. When you've broken your foot and you don't want to slip, you walk like an idiot, like this.
That's it, very careful, Mum.
Yes.
No slipping.
No slipping.
So where are we going first?
We're going to the greenhouse because Georgie has informed me that I have to have my 5 favourite things for you today. And so we're going to start here with my most favourite. And look, on the way, I have had pheasants digging up my plants.
Oh no.
I know.
Is
So
that
I'm gonna have
Cheska's
to-
peony?
It's Cheska's peony and it's called Mr. Fleming, which I thought is terribly funny because Alexander Fleming is no relation of me at all. Now this is brand new energy. Don't start planting until you've laid everything out. Come inside, Georgie, and then you can see everything behind the door.
Oh, look at this. I'm looking at the seedlings, but I
Yes.
want to go behind the door as well.
reason Why we have broad beans and BB, that means broad beans, but these are for a neighbour. We're sharing packets of seeds because they're actually too many for 2 of us, and she is 2 as well. And so I grow her seeds for her.
Very sensible. That
And-
means you can grow a lot of seedlings and get a great deal of satisfaction.
Yes,
but you
between
don't
2 of
have to
us.
grow the plants.
And you don't have to think, what can I do with the plants that are left over?
I think that's very
Which
good.
is tricky.
So what have we
Now,
got behind?
My poor mimosa
Oh.
died -12 2 nights running.
Yes.
It didn't stand a chance.
Mine didn't like it either.
I know, but apparently we did cut it to this before and it came again, so we're going to give it every chance.
I bet it will. I bet it will. I look at your
Well-
fancy. I like the fancy.
Mimosa bits.
Well, no, the blinds.
Oh, yes.
Do they keep it cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter?
Yes.
Kind
and
of.
lighter. And not so terribly glaring light in the
Yes, they're
summer.
very good.
So we have 2 of them.
Oh, they're very smart.
And they came with it. You can't live without. You've just got to have it lying around to give you great pleasure. It is very, very tough string, made by the usual string people. And it comes in big balls. Great balls of string. We have one here and one in the potting shed.
And so what do you do with the string?
You tie up your bamboos.
Just
You
all
know,
the time.
top
You
and
need
bottom,
string.
all the time. You tie things to stakes.
Yes.
And it doesn't rot away like very thin string.
And do you make straight lines with it?
You could do, if you didn't do it naturally.
Oh, you're
If you had a problem with your straight lines. But as an artist, I can do straight lines. And don't forget to keep all these. When you drop one, note like this, it will break.
Yes. Ooh.
So now you have 3.
Oh, good.
So
Yes.
brilliant. And you want little ones for little pots and big ones for big pots.
So that's just for adding drainage. That's very
Yes.
useful.
And when you stupidly put your brand new Christmas from your husband Japanese snips.
Niwaki snips, no less.
Yes, no less. Don't step back into my pot, Georgie. If you throw it into the bonfire, it will look like this when you come out, except that you then have to put electrical tape and Georgie has to put a new spring in for you. But there you still, they are perfectly Listen,
They are tough
Because-
as anything, aren't they?
because I put them into a pool of oil for 24 hours.
Oh, yes,
The
very
pool of oil
good.
then cleaned my table and the floor and everything. So don't panic if you do it. Just keep looking for them because they will be in your bonfire.
They
And
will.
They would have been put in with the paper.
So that's
You
two of
forgot.
your very important things.
Yes,
You've got
one-
your string
one,
and your snips.
2. Now the other thing is, don't ever buy new, very expensive labels because with a Brillo pad they clean up and your new label will show up very nicely with your black pen.
You need a black Sharpie, don't
Yes.
you? You
Yeah,
need a
I
Sharpie
have a
pen.
black Sharpie. And these were so amazing. Nigel's godson.
Hello,
said-
tea cake.
said, is Julie still pottering in the garden? How dare he? But he did send me some tomato seeds, Saint-Marthe. He lives in France.
Ah,
and
bon.
he went to a seed swap. And Louisa FJ,
Ooh.
cucumber. I killed it within about 5 days. I can't do cucumbers. And if you can't do cucumbers, don't go on buying seedlings. Just give it up. Your neighbour has too many cucumbers, and what's he going to do? Julie, would you like a cucumber? Yes, please. Can I
Yes.
start again?
Yes, start
Okay.
again.
Georgie nearly fell into a pot then. I also have a very old-fashioned frostat, which is a little electric fire, which will only come on when it gets freezing in here.
Oh, yes, I need one of those.
So you're not using a lot of electricity.
But it just keeps the frost
And
off the
it
greenhouse.
means you don't not sleep because you know there's a puff of fire
And it's
on.
not a heating fire. It's
No.
just takes
It's
the
just to
heat.
take the edge off it.
Yeah, we've got hot beds, but they're sort of homemade. Actually, they're okay. And I fling
bet
the
they're
fleece around a lot.
Yes.
In
Yeah.
the afternoon.
Well, I fling it around, but it blows off.
Anyway, how are your
Anyway.
seeds, Mum?
Well, these are for the end of February. I'm lying a bit because they're actually for the beginning of March, but Georgie mustn't know.
Keep what?
this, just a little tin plate
Yes.
to empty your seed packets into.
Oh, well, useful. Very good.
Yeah, it is. It's worth a fortune to me,
Yes.
and I have to find it every year.
Yes.
And I haven't yet found my square thing for doing it afterwards.
Oh, a tamping down with.
Yes, my tamping down thing is
I
missing.
tamp with my hand.
Well, so do I now. But anyway, you see,
Okay.
it suddenly got cold and it
Oh.
came on. It's that
The
accurate.
frostat.
Yes.
That's a clematis that you've just taken down.
An 8-foot fence, and we took it down.
Oh, tea
and
cake.
we're going to move the granny's bonnets to round all 4 corners of the new potato bed.
Oh, very
Because I
attractive.
can't throw them away.
No.
I simply can't.
And they'll seed all over the potato bed and you'll just end up without potatoes but
I
with
won't
Granny's
I
bonnets.
won't mind because they're ready to move.
They're very lovely.
So next Monday when Carol comes. Now, third most important thing in the world is my compost. Now this is the one that we've just started using. And I have here,
And this is, you made this. That is
Yes.
very, very fine
this is now 3
quality.
years old, and it has in it the wood ash from our fire in the sitting room
Yes.
and the occasional
Root.
unwanted root. But it is
Really?
absolutely fantastic, beautiful, and particularly with the ash in it.
And you put it all over the garden.
I top dress every shrub and tree with it, having put on top of it, when I've top dressed it, sorry, got it the wrong way round,
Yes.
the Russian
Comfrey juice.
comfrey juice, which is stinky beyond compare. And then I cover it with very old-fashioned underfloor
Carpet underlay.
carpet underlay, which you can't get now.
And when you say underlay, you have to say underlay, underlay. It's true.
do you have to say underlay?
Underlay, underlay. I don't know.
How
You just have to
ridiculous.
say underlay, underlay.
And if you have, like I have, one whole side of the hedge is laid,
Yes.
you will be very blessed with an awful lot of sticks of hazel.
Oh, yes.
When you go and visit a neighbour, you take them as a present, some of your sticks.
And then
because
what do
you
they
have
do
them-
with them?
Well, funnily enough, they put them at either end of their raised beds because they're asking for pigeons to eat all their salads.
Oh, yes.
And you give them for Christmas a whole a whole spool of yellow buttonhole thread. And you go from one end to the other with a buttonhole thread and nobody can eat your
Oh,
salad.
very good.
So that's your first present, and the yellow thread comes at Christmas. And then when you look after their garden when they're away for a month in St Kilda,
It's all good.
or somewhere,
Right.
walk on the gravel.
Oh, look, the new bed, Mum. It's all planted up.
It certainly is, and top dress,
That's a very beautifully laid hedge.
isn't it good?
Right, now what have you put in here?
Here is a new bed. I have to think. Sorry, what have I got in here? Because I can't read the thing.
Little Scylla.
No, they're not. Funny enough. I'll look at one. Arisema. What are they called? Woodland plants, which have spotty leaves and most beautiful. Trillium.
Oh, trilliums.
Right. Here is a bed of trillium.
Oh, very good.
But because they don't come until July, we've got spring bulbs coming just round the edge. And
Yes,
but
gorgeous.
it's mostly trilliums.
And this is all shady, isn't
Because
it?
this is very shady because as the sun moves round, it's behind the potting shed, and so it's shady.
Very shady, and you've given it
Morning,
masses of
afternoon
leaf
and
mould.
evening. We've given it, you won't believe this, all the very, very strong potting compost from last year's tomatoes.
Oh, very good.
So you shake out the tomato and put it on the heap, and then you put into the barrow all your potting compost
Oh, very 5-star.
and top dress.
Very
anything-
good.
Anything
Very good.
which you are particular about.
Now, do you have any other favourite things that you want to show us?
Yes,
Things
but
without
they're
which you
this
would
way.
not be. Okay. Okay. So this is number 4.
Yes.
And what is this?
This is my pocket saw, which moves.
Yes. Oh, to get the angle right.
Yes. So if you
Yes.
you can, when that's straight.
Yes.
And it will almost go in your pocket, but certainly down your welly. And it's very, very sharp.
Yes.
And afterwards you oil it and close it down, and then nobody can scratch there.
I have to say, I do love a small saw myself.
I love it.
I'm
I
very
love it.
keen on a small
That's going
saw.
to be by an old school friend.
Oh.
For which this is Nigel's grandmother's roller.
Yes, very
Now,
5-star.
Georgie's not going to watch this because she won't approve. But this is my 5th and most favourite, and I've had it forever. And look how rocky it is.
I'm a bit nervous, but anyway, this is your favourite thing.
Yes. Now look at how full that is.
Yes. Can you guess
Now,
what
don't look,
Googie's about to
turn
do?
your backs. Turn your backs.
This is called showing off. So what you do is you have a green bin, you fill it with the clippings from your clematis, you get into the bin and jump up and down and make more space.
And then you can't
And then you
get
come
out.
back out. This woman is 83,
But you do
ladies and
notice that
gentlemen.
I don't go onto the top step because it's a bit greasy.
Yes.
Then I swing out
Well, there you go.
and then shut the top.
83 and fit as a flea.
Come and look at how much room I've made. Yes.
Oh yes, there's plenty more room in there. That's very
Not
good.
to be sneezed at.
No, it's not to be sneezed at. So 83, broken ankle last summer. And yeah, but I'd say that's quite fit.
But actually now a good pair of shoes. Goodbye everybody. I'm going to hand you over to Georgie, who will possibly show you somewhere where a hedgehog lives.
Oh
Or
yes,
she
let's
might
do
show
that.
you an enormous hole that's been built by a badger because I've let them in and not let them out. And I'm just going to go down and see it now.
Okay. So here we are.
That's my sitting place.
Here we are at the hedgehog house. And look at the path that the hedgehog has made going back and forth. You can really see clearly where the hedgehog's made. And look,
There's the front door.
there's the front door, and they brought out all their winter bedding and left it, and they're going to have some fresh. Have you got them some hay or something, Mum?
I'll show you what I've got them. Well, I can't actually
No.
immediately. Very, very finely chopped, very small straw, like bedding grass.
Oh,
Only that long.
sort of thing
Otherwise
you'd
it
give
gets in
a
their prickles.
hamster.
Yes, and if you give them straw, it's all wound up in their prickles, And
Oh,
after a
yes.
bit, they look like a loofah.
So will you just put it here amongst the trees so they can bring
we've
it?
got a good front door there. And Jean and I tomorrow will put a 6-inch pipe through the front door and put it in this end.
I shouldn't be so... I should just put it in a pile down here and then they can come and help themselves.
Because it'll be wet.
Put it in a pile under a stool.
Don't push it.
I think if you put a
Okay.
pipe in there, you're going to disturb
Okay,
them.
we'll raise the front. Move the front two bars to stop Purdy from getting in.
Yes.
And we'll shove it in handfuls. Alternate handfuls.
Yes. Anyway,
There's also a baby's plate in there when I fed them the first time. I'd like to get that out.
Yes, but they're probably sleeping in there. It being February,
And it being a plastic plate with Pooh Bear on it.
they're probably sleeping in the bed, in the plate.
Probably. But if they've got what they brought out was the same stuff that we put on top of the compost heaps.
So
woody
the
stuff.
underlay.
Yes. But you see, it was dry. And
Yeah.
to give them wet straw, I think is very, very unhelpful.
No, I agree. I think we've put... Well, anyway, we'll talk about that. Anyway, thank you very much for your tour, Googie.
It's a great, great pleasure. And it's nice to see you all again.